Today I'm breaking down the SH15 strategy at Goal Profits, one of my favourite ways to trade second half goals on Betfair. If you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that I love a trading strategy that's based on stats, and that's exactly what SH15 is about, making sure that teams have demonstrated solid second half performances in their previous games. Stick around because I'll be explaining exactly how it works in this video. On average, second halves see more goals than first halves, around an average of 1.5 compared to 1.15 in the first half. That's one good reason for focusing on second halves for trading goals, but not every game is worth trading. I'm going to show you my process for finding the best opportunities for the SH15 strategy. The first thing I do is open up the team stats matrix. You can see instantly a short list of matches that fit the SH15 criteria here, but I'll be going through them to pick the best of the bunch. I've filtered out any fixtures with new managers and I'm looking at the stats for the past 10 games rather than the whole season. This is just a personal preference. I do a quick run through the list and generally I only look at matches where the scored and conceded percentage is green for one side. So what I mean is, if the home second half scored percentage is green, then I want to see a green conceded percentage for the away side or vice versa. This is a quick way of narrowing down the list. I'll take you through how I came up with my SH15 shortlist for this busy Sunday afternoon. First up, we've got LASK versus WSG. Now it's getting towards the end of the season and the home side are in a bit of a precarious position here. They've got everything riding on this, which means they're going to be pushing hard. Their second half goal stats are looking very good. They've scored in the second half in 70% of their last 10 games. On the flip side, WSG have conceded in the second half in 90% of their last 10. Some second half action could definitely be on the cards here. Next with Distinguished Strain, the home side have 100% second half goal rate, and the away side have been leaking goals in the second half against most of the teams above them in the league, so this is another one for the list. Next, in this game, the home side have scored in the second half in 70% of their games, while the away side have conceded in 90%. Arena have been playing a lot of top-half teams recently, and their results have been, well, let's just say not great. A quick trip over to the league table analysis on team stats shows us with the green versus red here, there's a strong home attack against a weak away defence too. Next we've got NEC against Go Ahead Eagles. There have been plenty of goals for these teams recently. Over 2.5 goals seems to be at decent pre-match odds of 1.79, but personally I'd wait for the second half to trade it. Last but not least, we've got CFR Cluj against Glory Bazar. It's the final game before this league splits and Cluj have a chance to climb up the table, maybe even to first place. They've got everything to play for. The away side have just got their pride left to play for. I'd expect Cluj to be fighting hard for these crucial goals. So that was my selection process for the day, and it just shows you how easy it can be to find profitable trading opportunities for the second half. Next I'm going to show you the basic guidelines for SH15. At half-time, we're looking for the score to be 0-0, 1-0 or 0-1. The reason for this is because the average game of football has 2.65 goals, so it makes sense to eliminate games that have already had 2 or more goals in the first half. Before entering a trade, it's best to wait 5 to 10 minutes into the second half. This is because the odds rise slightly and give us better value. So if it's 0-0 at half time, we'd back over 1.5 goals once the odds hit 2.02 or higher. If it's 1-0 or 0-1, we'd back over 2.5 goals. If a goal is scored before we enter, then we skip the trade. Once a goal is scored, we've got 2 main options. We can secure a free bet by laying in the same market to remove our liability. If another goal is scored, then we profit, but if not, then we don't lose anything. The other option is we can green up, which means looking in a profit order of outcomes. If the first goal is scored quickly, then greening up could be a great move. If it comes later, we might just leave the trade open and hope for a second goal. If there's no second half goal scored, then we lose our stake. It's important to have a trading bank set up, ideally dividing it into 100 points so it's easier to manage losses. The SH15 strategy is simple but effective. It takes advantage of second half goal trends while managing risk effectively. What's your favourite second half trading strategy? Let me know in the comments. If you're a Goal Profits member, the Team Stats Matrix makes finding these trades easy, but if you haven't tried Goal Profits before, then get 20% off with the coupon code YouTube. If you found this useful, don't forget to click like on the video and subscribe to our channel for more football trading content. Thanks for watching.